Welcome, everybody, to the Junction City Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Martinez. With me in the sweatbox today, we have Shane Forster, John Miles, and Mr. Jay Johnson coming out from North Ogden.
Northview,
not North Ogden, not different places.
Northview Fire District.
It's a fire district that serves Harrisville, North Ogden, and Pleasant View. So kind of a combination of the names to make everybody feel happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody's included.
Why didn't you let me introduce myself?
Because after the fiasco from last week,
He didn't want to hear you.
people
whining.
rated us because of your crazy outrage, and they were all pissed off. Like, why is Shane so?
We got so many comments,
so
Shane.
pissed.
Like 100 comments.
Yeah, we did. I mean, this is like our 95th show, so congratulations, everybody, for tuning in.
Counting down.
On today's show, you used to be cool, man. What happened to local journalism in Weber County? And then, like I said, we have the special guest, Jay Johnson, here to talk to us about Northview Fire District. We'll go through some pinkies up, thumbs down. Actually, we might not even do that because Kobe's not here.
I've got one. I'm going to spend the next hour remembering it.
And we'll go through the polls that happened this week on Facebook. But first, what have you guys been doing? Oh, and say hello to the cameras this time.
Oh.
Hey.
Wow. They're wired all over the place.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, look at there's John Miles right there.
Say hi to the NSA.
Wait. Oh, you're right here, John.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
So, yeah, what's been going on, guys? What have you guys been doing?
I went to a roller derby bout. Anybody?
How did that go?
Dude. Have you ever been?
No.
It was at the Golden Spike Arena, Event Center. Not
Right.
arena. It's not an arena.
Right.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
I mean, the only reason I even know that exists is when I'm at a bar. The ladies will come in and they'll hand out their cards and their schedules, and they put on a good show, and they're like, "Hey, come on, see us." We're all like, "Yeah, we're going." We never do.
We'll be there. We'll get a fun bus and we'll go.
It sounds like a riot, though,
Yeah.
man. It
No.
sounds awesome.
Well, we should support them, though, because their name is like Junction City, right?
Yeah.
Derby dolls or roller
Yeah.
derby. One of the two.
I mean, I really want to go.
You know what? It's all right. Like, I've seen some roller derby in my day, and I don't want to be mean to these girls because, like,
What do you mean you've seen some roller derby?
what
in your
does that
day?
even mean? What does that
I'm afraid to even mention it, but I spent a good year announcing roller derby matches.
What
So,
the-
What?
so I watched some, and back then it was a little bigger.
Are we gonna let that go?
It's all you need. What else do you need?
Was it the bank corners and stuff like that, or is it flat track, or how does it work?
Yeah, flat track.
Okay.
It's a flat. I thought it was Bank
Oh.
Corners, though.
But like we traveled, we went and did
No, you did
Idaho
not. Shut-
Falls
no
and
way.
Reno. Yeah, buddy. But anyways, I think it's got like the crowds are a little smaller. I don't think it's as much of a thing as it used to be. You know,
It's not like
Right.
the dodgeball.
right, right.
Like those
But it was.
crowds.
I mean, there was like 70 people there, maybe. So it was cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're doing their thing. It's like supporting a local business. That's what I think. So go watch them one day because it's interesting.
No, it is.
Did our team win? Did Junction City win?
Well, I think what they do is like a scrimmage. Like it's all one team, and when they tour, then they are all on a team, and so.
Or they're like bad guys, like professional wrestling? You got the good guys and bad
Oh
guys.
my gosh! Tell me that's how it is.
I mean, they sort of do. You know what?
Do they
I'll
come
say-
out in costumes at all?
They did.
They
It was
have
like it
heels?
was Rocky Horror Picture Show. So they were in those kind of.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
There's a
no,
lot of
nice.
cross-dressing.
You did share that, and it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show versus
Little Shop of Horrors. That's right. That's right. You know
Dang,
what?
themed.
You know what really pisses me off? I hope the coach hears this. The coach would like tell his team to stop and let the other team go around and score some points, like just because they were too far behind. Nobody wants to see that shit.
So wait, this is the thing like where they're out in front and they lock their arms, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
like clothesline kind of.
Yeah, they like try to make a line across the
Yeah.
so that the person can't get past them. If the person goes out of bounds, they got to go back around and try to get past them.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but I was a kid.
It wasn't.
Yeah, there was a
LL
roller
Cool
derby
J,
movie.
right? LL Cool J was in that movie, I think.
He was in the remake.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like
there
a
was-
70s movie
Yeah.
on this.
What? There's a
Yeah.
remake that made
He-
more than one.
Oh,
of
and that
these
was
movies?
it was Bank Track. I remember watching
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, LL Cool J was in the
I think
bad
Bank
one.
Track used to be
He
cool.
was on the good one.
Oh, wow.
I think even like Chips, if you remember the TV show Chips, I think they had a roller derby episode.
Yeah.
Or Charlie's Angel
Every
or something.
20 years.
I mean,
it comes around in cycles.
It's about time that thing's a thing again. I mean, roller derby should be a
Right,
thing.
right. It's kind of like a dodgeball. Remember dodgeball was a thing, and then roller derby. And
I was going to say,
like they kind of.
I watched Salt Lake. I don't even know if they are, but Salt Lake had a league, and that was like, they were going fast, and that was like impressive to watch.
They've got I ride Front Runner down to Murray every day, and going through the train yard, you see the Derby Depot or something like that's their facility down there. It's probably about 30th South, but I don't know what the west would be because I'm out in the back side of the south side of the tracks.
I think out there is where I saw them.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Maybe they're there.
Wow,
The
that's way more cool.
Watch
than
some roller derby.
That's way cooler than what I did this
Just do
weekend.
What'd you do, buddy?
I tried to put up a thing on my garage for like storage.
Tried,
Yeah,
huh?
above the garage door.
Yeah, like how do you know? Because in the instructions it says you screw them into the joists, and nobody knows where joists are because there's sheetrock over top.
Yeah.
Then you have to go get the little yellow tool that like beeps at you, and then
Yeah.
but you're like balancing on the fucking ladder, like trying not to die. Like this was, it was like.
Did it?
It didn't happen.
Is it done? It didn't.
No.
It did not happen.
Man,
no,
that's too bad.
it was yeah.
It's all
Shane, just come over to the house.
pretty
and
run of the
just
mill
put this-
stuff there, Dad.
No, it's not. That shit was like it took me 4
I
hours.
mean, at least you didn't.
and I didn't
at
even
least
get it up.
At least you didn't get it up and then like throw one thing on there, like you know what I
And it
mean?
falls
Yeah,
down.
like one can of paint goes on there and the whole thing just comes crashing down.
Yeah,
So
That was my weekend.
that's cool.
like the whole weekend, it's frustrating.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my whole Saturday because it rained and I was supposed to do other stuff. I was pissed.
I didn't do anything. I'm not.
Actually, I'll put this out to JC Peeps. If you know how to do that shit, call me.
Yeah,
Come
call
over to
you
the
and you can
house.
do it for free at Dan's house.
Yeah, you can
He's got the
practice.
stuff.
I know how to do that, but I'm not calling him. You guys,
what'd you
anything
do,
over
Shane?
there?
Well,
Okay.
my wife and I, my kids, and my son-in-law, we all went up to the Utah State homecoming game and sat through a torrential downpour of rain, but the Aggies did prevail over Colorado
Nice.
State. I was really upset at the refs. Usually, I can keep my composure, but it was like the refs were like, I don't know, they were Foot Locker. I mean, they were just not administrating the game. It was like they had just been up from high school or something. They just were kind of lost on the field. A good referee will make the call. And
Right.
they're efficient and they're quick. These guys kept huddling up, and man, it took. Besides the TV timeouts and the refs taking time in the freaking rain amplified it. Maybe it was just the rain, but I don't know. But the Aggies won, so we were good.
Yeah. I mean, a good football game in the rain.
Yeah. But that was like torrential rain, and then they had a lightning delay and all sorts of stuff, so they started late.
That was bad rain. You're right.
I would
Yeah.
probably get beaten up by Kobe next week if we did not mention that Weber State, great.
All right, they
Yeah,
won.
we beat number 5, beat number 9.
Yeah.
We beat Northern Iowa.
Northern
Good.
Iowa,
That's a
yeah.
good game.
It was
Good win
It was-
for them.
Yeah, and the same thing. I mean, I didn't go to the game, but I heard it was pretty bad. Like conditions were bad. So
Weber should be really. They should have beat Reno, and they should have beat. I guess Nevada. We call it Nevada, and then they should have beat San
San
Diego
Diego
State. Weber's man, they're good.
yeah.
Jay Hill's got it going.
So there you go. There's your shout out, Kobe. I knew you were. if
And
you were
Aggies
listening
are
to
doing
this.
good, right? Seems
Oh
like
yeah,
they've been winning.
we're so glad Gary Anderson's back. It's awesome. He should never have left Cache Valley because he could be like Stu Morrill up there and just be,
Yeah,
the
the guy,
big
right.
man in the valley and just be an Aggie legend. And so we're glad he's back. And
But he tried it. If he would have stayed there, you would always been wondering
If he's gonna
leave?
go.
He would have.
And,
Yeah.
and now
Well, he would've-
he's never leaving.
yeah, he'll be a fixture there forever.
yeah.
And we're glad because he fits in the valley up
and-
there. And
I mean, he never sold his home or anything up there, right?
no,
I mean,
no, it was a good plan. We're glad he's
He
back.
like knew,
Yeah.
so he knew he was coming back. Do you think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he left, his kids were still in school. They stayed there. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot going on.
Nice.
I didn't do anything though. I chickened out on the. I was going to go to the Utah game, and about 1:00 yesterday, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, 90% chance of rain at game
Oh, yeah.
time, chance of lightning. I'm like, it's going to go into lightning delays. I'm going to get home at 3 a.m. So I just like chickened out and finished my shower downstairs. So
Wow.
I
Finished
caulked
your
it, man. Caulked it.
Caulked the shower.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Yeah. The shower's
All right.
The shower sees
Excellent.
plenty of caulk.
Oh my gosh. So let's get into this. Okay, first story. So if you haven't noticed, you remember those little things that people used to do? You would get them in the morning. Newspapers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
That whole industry's struggling.
Yeah. And
Remember those
And
guys?
since none of us can find rubber bands,
Yeah, right. It's the only thing I
Exactly.
use. They're all out of here. So, we were going to talk a little bit about this and kind of the extinction of the local journalist, right? I mean, it's moving that way. I got into journalism when I went to Weber, and it was funny because we'd be paying for these classes and stuff, and they tell you this is a dying field, or it's not dying. It was always like transitioning and evolving into. You had the multimedia journalists, and then you had this, and then you had that. But now anymore, it just seems like they're so devalued that it's almost like when we talk about teachers and like how they don't get paid, and people are starting to move away to that from that profession as well. The need for that here in Weber County, Davis County, just kind of northern Utah, I think, has become more of a, what would you say, John? Like a concern, an emergency? What?
Are you trying to get me to say news desert?
Oh, there it is. We've been in this.
Because I don't know. I don't know how closely tied you still are with Logan, but do they have a newspaper?
Yeah, they've got the Herald Journal up there.
Okay, good.
is it still paper?
It's still paper and just small. It's kind of been. I hear from my family up there and contacts, people I keep in contact with, that it's shrunk over the years.
Yeah,
They don't have I used to, when I was in college, I was an athletic trainer. I used to sit behind, when we go on flights to charter to different football games and stuff, I used to sit in between Linda Hamilton of the Deseret News and Sean Harrison from the Herald Journal, both sports writers. They put less trainers and equipment managers and stuff always in the middle seat between the other ones. Give the other guys the aisle and the plane seat. But
right.
I'd like to know if those guys send staff now, or how it works with some of the crews.
Yeah, because Davis County, for example, the Standard Examiner used to cover them, but now they don't. We were talking before we started. There was the section for Davis they always had,
Right.
but it's just not there anymore because of cutbacks. Because it's like two things were happening. Yeah, there was all of that digitization that was hurting the news industry in general, but then there's these big, large news conglomerates that have been going through and buying up local news outlets and then kind of just gutting them, it seems like. And I don't know how those two things are related, if they are, or what the motive is for that. But let me back up a minute. So this all kind of started because we had Meg. Meg is a friend of the show, Meg Sanders, and she came on, I don't know, 2 months ago maybe, and she was doing that story that she had gone and investigated about how Weber County Sheriff's Office had brought on those two hires, two controversial hires. And they had been on, I think, for 2 or 3 months. They'd already been on the payroll, at least one of them. But nobody had really talked about it. And it was Meg who kind of went out and found it. And she kind of just spread it around Facebook. She mentioned it here. But then that caught. And I mean, I ended up hearing it on the KCPW podcast I listened to. It got picked up a lot of places.
KSL.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tribune.
And I just thought it was cool. Like, after that, I was just asking Meg, like, how did you do that? How did you even know, like, to dig that story up? And she said, it's just I don't know. It's just something I thought of. It's something I'd kind of been wondering about. I think when they had left their previous jobs in Salt Lake County, Meg had just kind of put it in the back of her mind somewhere. I'm curious where they're going to end up. And so a while later, she thought to look it up. So she does that. She uncovers this thing that I think is really valuable for Weber County. And then I kind of start asking, like, well, why didn't somebody else find that story? That seems like, somebody else could have done that. So then we started asking that. The show covered that Ogden mayor debate.
Right.
And after we did, we were all talking about like, man, the Standard wasn't even there. Like, why is
The
that?
Ogden mayor debate. How can the Standard not cover that?
Right.
Like, where the fuck were
Yeah.
So then I just kind of out of my curiosity started asking around. I talked to some people I know. I got reminded of what happened last year. Some people may be aware, some people may not. But, well, and first I'll go back a little bit further. In like 2015, the Standard brought in a new editor from, I think, Indiana. His name was Greg Howling. I remember when he came in, people were very concerned that we were going to kind of lose this local voice. And there may or may not have been layoffs with that. I can't really remember, but it was, if there were, it was kind of mild.
Right.
And to be honest, after I got to know Greg, I think he did a really good job. He brought in some reporters with him, and I got to know some of them, and they did a really good job. I would say that we probably did lose a little bit of that local flair, or not even flair, like that local knowledge that we used to have. So at the time I was helping in campaigns, and I would get called by the Standard about races, and Lou Shurtleff was running for the state house for the first time in like 10 years. So, but anybody who's from here knows that Lou Shurtleff, they know that name. Like, that's just a name that you know here because she was in office for so long and she had crossover appeal. But when the reporters would call me, they didn't know who she was. They didn't understand even why it was a big deal that she was running, or why I thought that we were going to be able to win that race when we hadn't won it for 10 years, you know? I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, that.
Like, this is a big deal.
Yeah. Right.
How do you not, like, how do you not know this shit?
Right. But that was 2016 when that happened. And like I say, those people came and grew into it probably even better, and they really did do a great job, I think. But in 2018, in I think May of 2018.
Yeah, that's when the article is from the Deseret News, yeah.
Yeah. So basically what happens is a group called Ogden Enterprises, I think it is. I could just pull up the story. But it doesn't have any. Ogden Newspapers is the name of it. A regional publisher. Has nothing to do with Utah, nothing to do with Ogden. It's just a coincidence that that's their name. But they buy the newspaper, and they lay off probably half the reporting staff. They lay off 21 employees, including a lot of journalists. They get rid of their main editor and their news editor. So their two main editors. They just get rid of them all and don't fill a bunch of vacant positions. Basically just gut
it says
this news organization.
3 open newsroom positions that won't be filled. And those positions were recently vacated and include 2 reporter jobs and the sources. And this is all from the Deseret News, by the way.
Right. So basically they take this investigative journalist staff and just lay them off. Say, this isn't what we're ready to fund anymore for whatever reason. And then that's how it's been for the last year and a half, I guess. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that I think can go by and you won't even realize that it's happening, but you just sort of start having these feelings like, oh man, I don't feel very informed about my community.
Right.
And so I feel like that's where we're at now. So once I realized that, then I started asking some of those. I mean, I know former reporters with the Standard. Meg knows former reporters with Standard. So I talked to Meg, and Meg and I start talking to those people, and it's
Meg was actually did a lot of news too.
Yeah,
right?
Meg was an investigative reporter.
Right. She was a producer for, I think, Channel 2.
Uh-huh.
She did some stuff with Channel 4 too, maybe. They all did producing.
I think it was Channel 2. Yeah.
TV wise.
But she was reporting stories for a long time there. That's how she learned how to do that. And she graduated from Weber State. We got an intern from Weber State from the communications department. So I was talking to that department head, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember Meg." Anyways, so we start talking to people. We realize there is just like this group, this roster of investigative journalists who still live here, still have that skill. Because I think that's an important thing too. It's not like I'm going to go out there and investigate a thing. I really don't know how. Honestly, actually, Colby's been trying, because since we've been having these conversations, people have been coming to us and saying, here is a story you need to cover that's not being covered. I've got 4 stories that I'm like, somebody needs to cover this. Colby went and took one of them, and he's been trying to. He says, I've been asking myself, what would Meg do here? And he's been making calls to city offices and stuff. So we'll see what comes of that. But basically, there's this roster of journalists who are sitting around following things, who have stories they're ready to tell, probably 20 stories that they want to tell about Ogden because they're still plugged in, because probably people are still coming to them saying, here's this story that people should know that nobody's writing about. So I started asking myself, what can we do here? This kind of seems like an opportunity to me. So then we put it out there. If I was to just ask you to investigate a story for me, what would that cost?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well,
Jane?
I don't think he's asking.
That's a
I'm not asking you guys.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh man, I was not prepared for this.
And I don't. The cost is low. The cost is super low. Like, we could, just us, this little podcast, could start releasing stories. We could just pay a journalist to write a story for us, throw them some money and publish it, and the community could be better informed. So this is a call out to our listeners to support this. I think we are, as a podcast, finally ready to ask for your money. But it's not going to go to us. We're happy to keep on doing all the stuff that we're doing to pay for putting the podcast out. Every bit of money that you give to us will go to these reporters and to buy stories for Weber County, to cover this area, to make us more informed. So by the time you hear this, you'll be able to donate to us on your website. I know a lot of you out there are the people who say, I would love to support my local newspaper. Even though I don't want it delivered to me, I wish I could just pay for a digital subscription to the Standard so that I could support local journalism. Well, this is a way for you to do that. So I hope you will.
So how are we going to do that? Is that Patreon? How are we going to do that?
Yeah, I think it's Patreon. I mean, there's kind of a lot of ways you can do it. So basically, there will be a button on the front of our webpage. It says donate. Doesn't matter what platform it'll be. But by the time you hear this on Tuesday or after, the button will be there.
Right. So they'll just be able to go in and donate. They could do monthly, or they could just do one time.
Yeah, make it a monthly thing. Consider it your donation to informing the community about the stuff that they need to know.
And I don't think it's going to be boring news if we're going to pay for it either.
Oh, it's not going to be boring. That's a good point. We're not going to be paying for editorials.
No.
We don't want opinions. We're not doing a blog.
No, we're looking to ruin some people's days and make a lot of people's days better.
That's right.
By it.
That's right. I wish I could tell you the stories, but it's like there are people out there who know things that are going on that are shady, and they need somebody to make a couple calls, find where it's documented somewhere, connect a couple of dots.
And if you're a reporter and you have the story, come to us. Maybe we'll buy it. You don't have a place to put it now. You don't have a way to get it out there now.
Right. Well, and think about what that does for this podcast, because then we're in touch with the person who is behind the news story, and maybe if we want it to be more than an article, then that person is here telling us all about it.
Yeah.
So what platform do you put this on? Like, are you thinking link it off of the podcast, or what do you envision?
Yeah, what I think we should do is we'll write it like a normal story, and we can publish it so that it can be shared on social media and things. And then I think we'll have the reporter just read what they've written right into the microphone, and I think it'll just come out on the podcast. So it's like every Tuesday we've got our show, and there's the news story on a Thursday morning and one on a Friday, or whenever we release them. And then maybe we'll even do a video.
We'll even link it to every newspaper there is.
Yeah.
The Herald, KSL.
The Leader, Tremont.
The Leader. Nice. I remember that paper.
The Leader.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it still there?
That's still there.
Good.
Yeah. Mr. Madsen.
Like a weekly?
They print it?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. I don't know that Mr. Madsen's there anymore, but he did come in, and me and his son, really good friends, high school friends.
Nice.
Cool.
He's a pharmaceutical guy now. Owns his own pharmacy. Anyway, yeah. So let's actually, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll be talking to Jay Johnson about Northview Fire District. Why are you laughing?
When we get back.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're here with Jay. Jay, your Northview Fire District, similar to how North Davis does a fire thing. So you, what cities do you cover, and what's
what is the Northview Fire District?
Yeah, I guess explain that to them because I didn't do a good job of that.
So yes, we're basically the word district there just makes us our own kind of own unit there of governance for the three cities that make up that region. It's Harrisville, Pleasant View, and North Ogden. So.
But it's not like a well-defined district. It's sort of you cover a general area.
Well,
right?
just those cities, those city boundaries of those three cities. I think the district was formed in 2006, and was prior to that was kind of managed by the mayors of those three cities. And I think just for funding purposes and things like that, they formed the district and made it so that. North Ogden being the bigger of the three cities didn't have an advantage that was unfair to Pleasant View or Harrisville, and so it gives equal representation on the board. I'm one of two trustees for representing North Ogden. There's two trustees from each city. Then we have one at large. So there's a total of 7 board members. That
how do you get on the board of this?
So it's an election process. So every 4 years.
Cool.
Among the other firefighters.
What's that?
Is it it's elected among the fire staff?
The city. So I've got to run a campaign in essence to get a trustee position.
Oh, I see.
So it's an elected. So I represent the citizens. So every 2 years there's somebody up for election in North Ogden between our two positions, and that works in other cities. So it's nice to have the people's
That doesn't seem like something that would become that is partisan. So I'm assuming it's nonpartisan, right?
Yep.
Has that ever gotten political at all or anything like that?
No. I know right now the Harrisville position. There's I think 3 candidates that are running. So the primary weeded out one person, and I think there's just 2 going for the general election for Harrisville. I'm running unopposed, so I'm on the ballot.
Oh, cool!
But no one else ran.
So the entire board is up for re-election every 4 years.
You cycle through. It's 2, just so you always got a little bit of experience on there. But they can clean house if we became corrupt and ugly, they could clean house within a 4-year cycle and get new representation on there. So everybody likes the firefighters, and it's a great place to serve as an elected representative and to fund public safety, which, in my view, is an essential service the city provides.
Absolutely.
Water, sewer. You want good fire and EMS protection. Helps keep our insurance rates. There's a score that you can get by having adequate water pressure in your hydrants.
Oh, for the city?
Yeah, for the cities, for your homeowners insurance and things like that. So we added a second fire station to get better response times. It's up above Weber High. Built it about 2 years ago, and so that's helped us get better response times up there on calls up on the bench. It used to take about 14 minutes or so to go from the station down there on 2550 up to Pole Patch. So if you had a guy have a cardiac arrest up there, it takes the ambulance a long time to wind up through there. Someone's doing CPR for a long time, so now we can get there within 3 minutes with the second station we stood up a couple of years ago. So it's been a good addition to give our citizens better response times and coverage.
Do you have so it's you have a new place up by Weber High School. How many people are there?
So there's 3 firefighters up there, staffed up there. So there's 2 that run on an ambulance, and they'll take the fire truck out on the call as well. A lot of times nowadays with people's size, just being big, it takes more than 2 guys to move people. Someone's collapsed in a basement, and just having the extra manpower there and equipment. So they'll send an ambulance and a fire truck just to have usually 3 guys there on scene. And a lot of times there'll be an officer that responds as well from the police departments to help the guys out.
Wow.
I had no idea it was governed like that, with its own board. How does the money come in? Is it from city taxes?
So the fire district, we've got 2 revenue sources. So we're a taxing entity that's on your property tax. So on there, I want to say depends on the value of your house. I want to say it's between $20 and $30 a year. It's not a huge amount of money. I might be wrong on the exact line item. So don't, those guys out in the internet land, don't persecute me. Don't vote against me.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that comes out of the property tax.
So out of property tax, and then we do bill like on ambulance transports. So the insurance companies get billed for ambulance transfers from home or from. They just stood up a new ER out there in Pleasant View, and so.
Right.
A lot of times Ogden Regional will pay us to transfer patients that went there initially but need further care or go to the OR, or, get operated on or something like that, need advanced care, and then they'll transport them across town over to either McCady or Ogden Regional, whatever, is a network for the patient for that kind of care.
And so I've never thought about it, but the ambulances are associated with you guys and not like the hospital.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ogden City has their own fleet of ambulances. Northview, we've got our we've got our own, and so it's kind of their own entity. The paramedics run out of different cities, and so the paramedics that come up to serve the Northview area come out of Station 3 right there by the Lowe's and Walmart there on the Harrisville Ogden border right there.
Right.
And so the paramedics are kind of scattered a little bit lighter around the county.
I see.
That will come on. More severe calls, cardiac arrest and things like that, where they can administer different drugs and things than EMTs.
So do the firefighters not do that? I thought the firefighters also.
Yeah, the firefighters and EMTs. So we'll dispatch an ambulance, and so our guys are certified both as firefighters and EMTs, and they'll go, but they'll oftentimes dispatch the paramedics, which are trained at a higher skill level. They can push different drugs under the supervision of a doctor.
So if something more needs to happen, he can come by and kind of.
I've heard a lot of time, like say with a heart attack, they don't even necessarily need, like they can get all of the treatment in the ambulance, right, from the paramedics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll transport someone, and they'll go on scene somewhere. Paramedic will ride in the back of the ambulance with an EMT that's there, and then we've got one EMT driving the ambulance, and so you'll see the ambulance going, lights and siren, and then the squad with the paramedic truck is kind of following with one paramedic in the truck, to go retrieve his guy once they get to the hospital.
I see.
So, what is the board? How do they disperse the money? Does the board disperse the money, or do they just okay the budget for every year?
So we have a budgeting process. So the administration, the chief Wade, and Jeremiah and a few other of the staff members will get together. They'll build a budget of with their needs and so forth, and then we form a budget committee that's a few representatives out of the board of trustees, and we'll meet and they'll go over and we prioritize and do a few things like that. Do we really need this year? Can we push it off to next year? Just to make give the guys the dollars they need. Make sure they've got the equipment, and then we'll take it to the full board, and then they'll present it to the board, and then we're able to vote on it.
So, for example, you guys decided you wanted this second station to kind of cover the width of the Pleasant View, North Ogden area. Is that a decision you guys can make on your own, and then you kind of budget it out of your money, or are there other places you get to go to get the money for that kind of?
Do you have to go to all three cities to get more money?
No, it's we did it for this station that we added above Weber High. It worked out really good. The Wadman family basically donated the land we bought it for $1.
Oh,
and
wow,
so
that's great.
It's right next to the Wadman Nature Park up there. Again, I can't remember what the north is on there. It's in the 30s or 40s of north. I know where it's at. I just don't know the street number.
Right.
If you want to look it up, you can look for Station 22, Northview, and you can get the address. So we bonded for the fire station there. We were bonded on our fire station down on 2550, and we paid it off like 4 years early. So the administration runs a really good frugal operation, and that's the intent with this new station, is to pay that bond off early as time goes by. So to get that debt paid off, but other things that we do with the budget and dollars. So if there's a big if they need to buy like a truck, for example, they've got to run that by the board. So, certain dollar thresholds have to be run by the board by our administration to make a big purchase and things like that. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it's 4,300 north.
Yeah, it's a cool station up there.
Yeah, that's nice. I have not seen that.
So how many are in there?
There's 3.
3, but that one's the one.
That's the one up by Weber High, and then there's
The one down low, or the one
right by the aquatic center.
aquatic center.
So there's always 3 guys working in there.
Oh,
yeah, at both stations.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you still do the fire poles?
They've got a fire pole at station 21. I don't think there's one at 22 because it's basically kind of a one level.
That's too bad.
But you can come down to station 21 down there on 2550, and you can experience the brass. Slide down there.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went down. You guys do that open house every year.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
Oh, is it?
Perfect segue.
Oh,
Perfect
good to
segue.
know.
Nice.
So October 7th, Monday, October 7th, we're having the open house. Starts at 5:30.
Yeah, and you do don't you do the fire hose, maybe? Like you spray it out in the back?
Yeah, the kids can go out there. Kids or adults can go take a fully charged hose and open up the valve. And Oh, yeah.
And you give rides in the fire trucks?
Rides in fire trucks.
Yeah.
Chief Wade usually likes to take command of the fire truck and go around there with the lights and annoy the people around there with some siren action,
right.
But it's all good. They usually have a couple of life flight helicopters will be in there. We've had years where we had all 3. You had the I want to say it's the IHC. What's it called? Life Flight. The U has AirMed, and like Ogden Regional's. I can't remember the name of their
I just call them all Life Flight.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're all the same.
They were all Life Flight.
They've all got kind of their unique naming thing, but but we've had all 3 out there before.
Are they all red helicopters? At least
red and white.
No, well the U's are red and white. And the IHC's kind of red and white pattern too, and. The ones for Mountain Star for Ogden Regional Network, they're kind of a cool blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've kind of got a newer kind of a little bit different look to them.
Had to be different.
Is it hard to staff the police, or the fire department and EMS? How's the pay? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, the pay. I would say the pay's low for what they do. It's been hard for the guys to recruit, to get new talent to come into the fire service. It was funny because I grew up in Cashville. I was on a volunteer fire department. Wanted to go full time with Logan City was kind of my goal, and it was impossible to test because there'd be 100 guys wanting to test for like 2 positions. Right. And now we put out notices of doing tests, and you're lucky to get like 8 guys to show up.
Yeah, I can only imagine like the guys that have been there 20. I don't know how long they've been there. If you've been there 20 years. You probably could afford to live in the area, right? And now you're coming in. You probably can't even live in North Ogden. Yeah, am I right on that? No?
We've got a number of guys that live in the area. We've done wage studies and things that we pay. Our district we pay. To keep up with the peer cities, South Ogden and Weber Fire District and those guys to keep because we don't want to lose all that training that you invest in them, have them go down to Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. We've had guys that left to go down to work in Salt Lake, which is, for them, maybe, want to do career advancement, have more calls and just more action. We've had guys leave and go to Vegas and LA and things like that. So it's you want to keep your staff, you want to keep those guys well compensated so that you don't lose them, because you see them in the community, you see them at like Maverick or whatever, grocery store shopping, you recognize those faces, and it's nice to have familiar guys that know the town, know the addresses, and it's
that's my thing, right? Because you would want to make sure that they at least know the area, because especially North Ogden, y'all's places is weird. Like I take my daughter up there to go play soccer at the soccer field. I don't know, it's weird. You go up the one road, the one that goes straight up
1050.
Yeah, when you're right there, 2700, and then you go
2700, and then you take a left.
And then you take a left.
And you start just going up the hill.
Up the hill, and
you're
then
like, all of a sudden you're at Weber High. You're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, this isn't where I was trying to get to. And I'm like, and then you try to put it in your.
You turn at some point. When you want to be somewhere else, you got to turn off.
You got to turn off the road.
It is weird.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
not
good.
to shit on North Ogden, but
so is it
kind of a little bit.
Is it hard to get more money?
Well, it's you never want to raise taxes.
Why? Why is that?
Yes.
No, I know. I'm curious. No, because that seems it's a reoccurring thing. Because to raise $90,000 more for a position, right? Like we have our what do we have? The diversity lady that gets $5,000.
Right, $5,000. For Ogden, right?
Yeah, for Ogden. So to pay $90,000 position,
nobody wants to hear that.
It'd be $1 a household, but that's the end of the world, right? Like, can't do that.
They need to hear it, John.
Yeah.
They need to hear it.
So
it's not a lot of money to increase for, especially for things that need to.
Well,
in the city.
I guess in my perspective as working in the fire services, it's an essential service. You want, I don't want, some, I would want as a resident to know that I'm getting good equipment to my, I don't want a defibrillator that's, if they're going to be doing, CPR on me and going to shock my chest that. No, it's got like a taped cord or something. Something. You know what I mean? You want good quality equipment and current and modern and state of the art stuff, and we want to fund them that way. So this year, we just had a a truth and taxation thing. We didn't raise our tax rate, but we held it at the same rate so we wouldn't lose it. So with the valuations of the households and things like that, our take would have gone. The percentage would have went down. We held it steady, which causes a little it'll cause an increase on there, but
but your percentage is the same.
Percentage is the same
of the tax of per family's taxes
per the assessments of all the properties as it's gone up. But we just wanted to hold, because if you start losing ground on that, you're not able to keep up with inflation. You want to give the guys cost of living increases and fund it like that. So I mean, it's important to give those guys those kind of increases so they don't go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So more about the department, if you want me to. Yeah. We've got like 31 employees. There's 18 full-time firefighters, and they've got let's see.
And so there's always 3 there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 in each house.
So they got so there's 6, and then they've got the 3 different shifts, the 3 shifts that they work. So when we fund one, if we bring on a new person, you're in essence hiring 3 people to fill that 24-hour shift. I mean, you want one person for they work the 24-hour shifts, so you've got 3, need 3 bodies to fill those shifts.
Oh, I see.
If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the way it's.
And in their off time, they make enough money. None of them have second jobs, right?
I think a lot of them will have second jobs.
Okay.
A lot of them will work as part-time firefighters in other agencies, just to do that, or
it's a pretty normal Utah thing.
Well, and I mean, I think this is my ignorance, but did a lot of cities used to just have volunteer fire departments? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
I don't even understand how that would work. Like, how do you keep something so vital together when you're not paying the people?
Well. When I grew up, I grew up in a small town, North Logan, up there in Cache Valley, and so a lot of the guys that were on the volunteer fire department, our station was right next to the Cache County bus maintenance depot. So a couple of the guys that were on our department were bus mechanics, so they could go. We got a call out. They'd be the first 2 over there starting the engines, getting the air charged up in the trucks. And we had a guy over at the service station that was across the street. He was he's the chief up there now, but he'd come across. So you have 3 guys there within a minute or 2 to get on a truck and be ready to go. But
aren't they at their other job?
Well, those 2 were working. We were lucky because we had 2 at the bus depot, which is their full-time job.
Their job is right there,
and they were just close by. So you just basically drop what you're doing to go on the emergency call. And a lot of small towns where you had farm, kind of the agrarian farms and things like that. So the farmers are in town and things like that, working their farms, and they get a call, 5 or 10 minute drive to the fire station to go get their, turnout gear, or the truck would get going there and they just go meet up at the fire scene or wherever they've got to go. They used to put. I've got one from North Logan Fire Department, an old small little license plate that you used to put in your back window. So
to say that you were,
so that if you pull up in your car there and you've got your fire gear in your trunk or whatever, so the cops can know that you're legit. You're just not there rubbernecking or something like that. You can, here's my, I'm on the fire department, okay? So, but now that kind of era's changed where everybody's out. You've got to staff it full time and to provide the EMS.
The bus depot's not letting their employees drop everything and go fight a fire anymore.
Well, up there, they're still volunteer.
Oh, really?
In there, they've got the way Cache Valley has grown. That department's still volunteers as far as I know. Last year too.
How does that even? How do they? How? What? Because like Cache Valley's like big now.
Well, like Logan City's got full-time firefighters, and they may staff an EMT or two in there now. I don't keep up with that. It's been too many years. I've been down here for 25 years.
yeah,
Dan, you'd have to raise taxes. And that's not going to happen. No, I hate to be the negative guy because you're pretty positive, Jay, and you love your job. But it really bugs me how these guys. You can be a chief in a city and you have another job.
Yeah,
it annoys the hell out of me. These guys, the firemen, the 4 that I know, they're all divorced after 6 years, right? 'Cause these guys work. They leave their families for 3 days, and then they go work at another department for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone 6 whole days, right? I mean, you guys leave your wife for 6 days. See how that goes, right? Like,
Right.
I mean,
sounds all right. Tell me more.
I mean, it just
Wait, so I just have to volunteer for this? Just kidding. I love my wife.
Yeah.
No, but I think the trend is though that it's getting competitive to get to bring people into the fire service. That's going to it's going to be like the teaching industry. It's going to be, the demands there to have well trained personnel to be able to fill those positions because it's important.
Yeah.
right. Like if I was North Ogden or your district, I'd feel like I'd want that guy to go work for 3 days and then he can kind of be on call for 3 days or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him working anywhere else.
But like, yeah,
Right.
stay
I don't
here.
want him coming dragging ass tired,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
Right.
the equipment thing, right? I want the best there for me. Like I don't want somebody that's doing this part time and then going and working a 40-hour to take care of their family. Then they come here and they're super tired or they're like taking rock stars or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
he's texting the wife like trying to get out of a fight and wife is upset. And, you know what I mean? Like that's what I don't want. I don't want my police officers feeling that way. I don't want my firemen.
Yeah,
we
or
have
your
to raise
teachers.
Or my
Your
teachers.
teacher out delivering pizzas all night and then sleeping through all their classes the next day.
Yeah, and that happens, right?
does.
Like it's.
I know there's a guy who lives in North Ogden that's an LA firefighter, and they've got like an apartment down there in LA, and there's a bunch of guys in Utah that live in Utah, but they'll fly a flight down to LA and be down there for 3 or 4 days, work their shifts. They'll stay in this apartment, and they'll come home, and they've got 5 days off, and then they just kind of rotate through like that. But
they do it with nurses here too.
It's economical enough for him because he's making $100,000 a year being an LA firefighter.
Huh.
but when has he seen his family?
Well,
I guess,
he's down there for his shifts and then come home. They've got their like 5 days off on their rotations that they.
It's like the same as doing it at the firehouse here, except for there's a little flight in between.
Think L.A., New York, they treat their firemen a little different.
Wow.
Oh,
I would
yeah. I want to get to this a little bit. How come they don't play the police officers in those baseball games that you see in the movies? You know what I mean?
Oh, we do. They're playing.
They do?
We're playing.
Tell me you guys beat them all the time.
The cops beat the cops last year beat the firemen. They played at Weber High last year, but they had some ringer from the highway patrol that was like draining
Oh
threes.
yeah, leave it up to the cops.
I'm telling you, they
I want to go watch this game.
Yeah, I'll
that's
find
what I'm
out.
saying.
I'll find out when it is, and you got to do a broadcast from the
Yeah,
sideline.
I will.
Yeah.
We'll bring
Oh,
Coach
yeah.
Wade. We'll
Let's
get
do
Chief Wade in to come in and get, be a guest on
Beautiful.
your show.
That's
It'd
a
be
great
awesome.
idea.
But yeah,
We'll
they're
be commentators.
it's a fundraiser, and I can't remember the exact cause it's for, but it's coming up. I'll get word to you guys.
Let
Nice,
us know,
yeah.
please. Yeah.
We'll get word out.
Yeah,
All
it'd be cool. It's at Weber High. So
Let's talk about positive things besides how North Ogden doesn't. The
Pay their-
citizens
pay
don't want to
their-
pay the
Hey,
fire.
Hey.
I mean, no,
Yeah,
I mean I don't want to
John.
be jerks about it, but it's just a epidemic everywhere. Like we could just really care less about these guys. We expect them to do that. But what are the good
Wait,
things?
Could I
Yeah.
just on that point before you change to a good? Do you happen to know, like, say people wanted to pay their firemen more? I imagine they would go to their city council, who would either give you guys a bigger portion of the property tax or raise property tax to give you more. Is that right?
well, we wouldn't go to the council. They could come to our board meeting when we do our truth and taxation kind of hearings, and and lobby us to if they wanted us to pay more for our people, come in and lobby for and saying they're willing to have their property tax
so it
go
is
up
you.
for our portion. Yeah,
It is that your board of trustees that would.
we're that taxing entity, and then
Yeah.
then it would end up going through the county to be added to the taxing formula.
So you said it's like $30 to $40 per household. That's all the money you get. Is that right?
I think it's probably more than that for a year. I have to look at my property tax thing.
Yeah, because those are the kind of numbers. It's like if
You know what?
if you just doubled that, who the hell knows?
Nobody
notices.
It's probably probably more realistic. It's probably a couple hundred per year.
Per house.
It's probably $20 or $30 a month on just depending on the appraisal on it. It's probably
gotcha.
On that to make it more in scope.
But even if that's the case, and Shane's talking, you raise it $1, and that makes it so you can bump up, a salary.
How many households are in that? Do you have it?
That's a good question.
That's how I do Ogden now. Now I know there's 90,000
Shane
households.
does this all the time. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
$1 for every household.
$1.
That's
I would-
$90,000.
Yeah, I would say I think the population up there's near 40,000. There's 20 in roughly 20 in North Ogden and probably between Harrisville and Pleasant View, we're probably close to those numbers of really being 35 to 40,000. I don't know how many individual households there is. So if you figure there are 3 or 4 people per house, so maybe 10,000 houses. Well, maybe
I bet you there's more.
between apartments and houses, maybe.
Right. But I am just not to hit on this too hard, but like it wouldn't go on the ballot to raise the taxes. It would just go to you guys. I assume you guys would want to have a good idea that there was broad support among everybody in the city. So, like, is it unheard of for somebody to, like, bring you guys a petition or anything like that?
I haven't seen it in the time I've served. I've been there about 7 years is my time of service so far. But, if someone came in and really advocated it, it would be compelling and to have someone come in there and say, hey, let's reward these guys.
Something we're willing to pay for.
Because when, if it's kind of in-house generated, it has that optics of these guys are like cancer and just want to grow. You know what I mean? And limited incomes of people. I was at a Weber County or Weber School District Truth and Taxation last year, and there was a lady from, I think she was from the Terrace, was there, talking about how she's on a fixed income and they were going to raise the school. I can't remember how much it was. I want to say it was going to be another $25, $30 on the school district thing. And this lady's like, I'm tapped out. I don't have any kids in the schools now. I've already raised my family, but this is going to be a burden to me. And so there's people out there in those households where they're fixed income, Social Security, they're on a shoestring, and you just don't want to be pricing them out of services. And it was a compelling thing. So there's a balancing act there of, it would be nice to have maybe more commercial or something in there that would pick up a bigger chunk of some of that burden. I know when like the Smiths came out there, we were able to get impact fees that helped help the department as you stand up, because you've got the potential for a lot of calls going to the Smiths, for falls or accidents in the parking lot, things that's going to impact the department.
And so they pay fees?
Well, when they construct it.
Right.
That kind of the
it's part of what they're paying to the
building permit processes.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so in Ogden City we're trying to raise $5 million for our police officers. It's $5 a household per month.
Mm-hmm.
To me it seems pretty easy, right?
Right.
And it's not. It's end of the world type money. We will allow our officers to go to Salt Lake. We'll be 40 officers down. But $5 a month is end of the world. But you know what I mean?
I start giving you $5 a month. Who else do I got to give? $5?
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
You've already asked me for $5 a month to pay for all the tuition for kids at Weber State.
Yeah,
you're asking me for $5 a month every other week.
Yeah, a quarter. All I'm asking for is a quarter a year per household to give low incomes free tuition.
She needs that. Remember the old commercial in the 90s, and they had like the kid with the fly in his eye, and for $1 a month, you could feed this kid. He needs to get a bunch of just Weber kids and just
we're making one of those.
Line them up. Right?
That's going on our YouTube channel.
Oh, we could do it for the firefighters.
Listen up. Hey, come on. So, because I know Ogden City households, I don't know North Ogden, because it's not. You know what I mean? It's $1 90,000. But what they do is they come back, which what I'm saying is $5 a month raises $5 million for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But when they say $5 million, my mind is like, screw that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nobody's saying this is all it's going to
breaking
cost.
it down.
But he makes a good point that maybe guys like you and me are like, oh, $5 more a month, no big deal.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
But then there's a lot of households who that really might.
Or
then
here's
let's
the
just
other.
fill out a waiver.
Here's the other argument: is
Just fill out a
is,
waiver, come back, and just say,
well,
come down to the city.
What if they don't use that money for what I'm paying them to use the money for? That whole thing comes into play, and it's like, well, government doesn't know how to spend my money, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Shane, there's a lot more to
No, because like by the time I'm done with Ogden and this show, right? Like we are going to be the highest paid police and fire department for everybody's gonna be begging to work here. Do you know? All the teachers are going to be like, I want to move to Ogden.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go to my North Ogden City Council meeting, and I'm gonna say it for all the people watching on YouTube. I'm gonna say, let's all just pay $10 more.
Say it right there.
And pay the Northview firemen more. Like no big deal.
And we don't want
to don't go to the council meeting. Come over to our fire district meeting.
Well, I will do that, but I want to bring like a bunch of people.
Okay, you're gonna
I'm building support
grassroots.
First.
Grassroots.
That's right.
Okay.
No, it is. It doesn't.
Ooh, I like that.
Seriously, how about? Wouldn't it feel good in North Ogden know that every fireman wants to live and work there?
Yeah.
As a resident, that's a big deal to me.
I'm going through a weird phase in my life where like I've got young kids and I've been fairly reckless about my personal decisions in my life forever. But now I'm like, I might one day really need some immediate medical attention, and suddenly I care about it because I got these kids.
Yeah.
So I'm really relying on those guys.
You want our good defibrillator. You don't want the one with the short and the left hand one.
That's right. And I want you guys well rested.
Yeah, I don't want some guy who's like got an earpiece in. He's like, honey, I'll work a double. I'll get more money.
I don't want him fighting with his wife.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you want to see me more, but then you want more money, so I got to work 2 shifts. Like I don't need that.
I'm trying to pump this guy's heart right now.
Let's be clear though. Jay Johnson did not come here complaining and want more money.
That's right. That's our socialist
asses. All our socialists.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wait, I got a question though. Are the firefighters unionizing?
We've had guys that have formed a union. We had a rep that would come to our out of our department that would come and sit in our board meetings and give input and things like that. That he's left and works down in one of the Salt Lake departments now. We don't really have. It's kind of left a little bit of a void, but I believe there's a couple of them that are affiliated with the union.
Because like the police unions are big deal, right? Like you see them on like TV shows and the news,
right?
But do firefighters also have that same strong union presence there as well? Or
I don't think it's been strong up, at least in our department. I don't know how it is in Ogden or Salt Lake, but with Utah kind of being that right to work state, it just hasn't.
How does the retirement? Like at one time they had a really good retirement, and then the teachers all complained when they had to go to the firemen. Is that right? Like the teachers are in the same pension. Is that?
It's a state-run pension fund. I know that they wait for the legislature to find out how much is going to be matched and things like that as they do it. And that just came out as we were putting together our budget. And but yeah, it's kind of that's mandated by how the legislature kind of works that to fund the.
We'll look into that a little more, but
the pension.
Yeah.
Well,
so tell us about all the good things they do.
So
is North Ogden any good?
Oh yeah, it's awesome up there.
Like, I mean, not North Ogden is the district, is the fire district.
The fire district.
I mean, how do the guys rank?
Fire district.
Oh, we've got a top-notch crew. We've in fact, our guys, they responded on it was a sad call along about where 1700 North is. Just a little bit north of there was a car accident that had 2 fatalities in it, and our guys got there. They had the police have responded as well, and I think the Ogden came and assisted on that call as well. But our crew got nominated, and it was the state's EMS call of the year for the way that the guys handled the scene.
Oh, really?
Handled the survivors, and just took that and with great professionalism. Traumatic thing, but they got rewarded with the call of the year and the way that they treated that. So it was a great award for those crews that worked that accident. I mean, awful accident.
Oh yeah,
but
like that. That would be traumatic. From what I remember, the details of that was.
Yeah, they were. I believe they were just two kids that were. I think they attended the Montessori school over there, and they were on the way to school. I believe.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact details, but it was sad. But the guys, I mean, got a great crew. Just to give you some numbers, some Paul Blart fun facts, maybe.
Yeah.
Look at my list here and brag them up a little bit. But in 2018, there was 2,422 calls.
Wow.
So the call volume for those two stations.
Hold on, 2018 was what?
2,422 calls.
Yeah.
2,400.
Lord.
Yeah.
What are you
So
guys
that's
calling?
What?
Like,
7 a day?
Yeah, between the two departments. You know, and,
do you do a lot of like cat rescues?
No, not a lot of cat rescues. We had a bunch of duck rescues this year. With a big runoff. The ducks were on my phone. They have an app that we can track the calls, and you know there was like 3 or 4 duck calls this year.
Huh.
So yeah, the guys went above and beyond and rescued a lot of ducklings this year.
That's good.
So fantastic there. So right now for 2019, we're already at 2,007 calls.
What?
Wow.
And so we're projected for 2,600 calls this year.
Huh.
So almost 200 more calls.
I have a question. Do you respond to every one of those calls? You have to respond to every one of those calls, right?
Uh-huh.
What
Okay.
does that mean? Like, no, we're busy.
Wait.
Seinfeld.
Well, yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
No, well, if our crews are out there, you know, the crews from in Ogden or Weber County Fire District will come in and do that. So they've just kind of got a rollover plan for mutual assistance and things like that. So,
so that wasn't a dumb question.
No.
Okay.
We've had crews. You know, when our guys are out and Ogden's out on calls, we've had guys from Roy come all the way out there to respond when just people are busy with stuff. So it's.
Huh.
I mean, do we need more houses?
Well,
Like, do we need more guys?
I
You know
was
what I mean? Like,
actually just thinking
firehouses.
about.
You mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you
That's
got
what I
this
mean,
second-
firehouses.
You got this second firehouse,
mm-hmm.
and I don't imagine it's really what has caused the uptick. My guess would be that it's actually just made your response time quicker. Do you have any?
The response time's quicker. Our growth right now with the increase in calls is coming from the freestanding ER that just opened up in Pleasant View.
Right.
So it's just an emergency room right there off of 26. Well, it's the road that goes, you know, it comes down from 2700 and turns into 2600
See?
right there.
See? North Ogden's crazy.
Well, kind of, you know, it's got that little veer in there, you know. So
Right.
it says 2700 on the freeway, and then it comes up there and becomes 2600.
Yeah.
And you don't know where you are.
There's a little tweak there, and then the numbers kind of change there by Pleasant View and
It's a
into
little
North
IQ
Ogden.
test for people entering the city.
Yeah, there you go. We want to keep our uniformity within the cities.
Yeah.
You know, got to mix up the grid a little bit. But yeah, that standalone ER is adding a lot of burden to us because people will go there with some kind of an emergency, and you know where we would maybe go to their house before. So a lot of times, but then there's people coming from Plain City or Far West or Willard that are coming in there that aren't part of our coverage area.
And
But-
then they need an ambulance?
Then a lot of times they're in there, the ER or in that ER, and the doctors in there will say, you know, this person's got to go up and get like a
You gotta go to-
stent or something put in, and they'll call our crew to transport them in an ambulance and take them to either McKay or Ogden Regional on a transfer. And so there's 3 or 4 of those a day, and sometimes it involves, you know, if it's they need advanced life support, they'll have the paramedics out of Ogden come and ride in the ambulance with our guy driving them to one of those hospitals for care. So it's you know, it's something we're going to have to address with staffing as we move forward with this, is because it's only been open since July, and so we're kind of in the infant stage of this. And
Wow. And it's already bumped up the number of calls that much.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, sorry, you can go on with your stats. Though.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
I
you're
got a
good.
bunch of stuff.
I'll show you an example here. I know this isn't good for podcast
Show the
viewing.
camera.
Show the
though.
camera.
That's kind of what, like, so far today they've had one ambulance transfer out of let's see, it's still updating. That was this morning. But
We get the worst reception up here too.
yeah, there's a bunch of the transfers that we've that BBLS BLS transfer. That's an advanced life support transfer. So they get a
Yeah, that's like a good 20%. It looks like maybe 10 to 20%.
yeah. So it's going to be you know, the metrics we're going to have to measure is, are we not going to as many houses? Are people driving their loved ones down there with, chest pain or abdominal pain or whatever, and going to the standalone ER? Instead of driving them, I'm sure there were people that would drive from North Ogden to McKay, for emergencies, versus calling the ambulance. But those are the metrics we're going to have to work out, and see what we need to do for staffing to. Because you tie up a rig probably for at least over an hour by the time they go down there, load up, drive clear across town, drop them off, do the paperwork, and then drive back to get back into service in the area.
So where does John have to go? Can he complain about it to the city council about this?
No, to his board of trustees.
And they don't. How often do they meet?
We meet once a month on the third Tuesday of the month
at the station.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's open to the public, and we get people there to come in and make comments and different things, and so you get you have your public comment time. So yeah, come in.
Another microphone for me.
We've got a nice podium with the logo of the fire district.
Oh,
so.
You shouldn't have told me. Podium will get me every time.
Podium will get me every time.
So yeah, the open house come up October 7th, and then they're going to be giving fire truck rides and all sorts of fun.
What's that like?
That's awesome.
4 o'clock?
5:30 till dark, basically.
Nice.
So
it is
come
lots
over.
of fun. You can tour around the station.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of firemen there.
They're going to be burning. They'll do like a burn demo. They'll build like some little house thing and start it on fire with like a couch and stuff. And
do they do s'mores? They should do s'mores.
They should have a food truck there, right?
Dan is so goddamn
We should do a food truck.
I'm asking.
If I could spray
That's a
your
good
hose and
idea.
jump on
I'm
a
telling you,
trampoline
right?
and make some s'mores on your burning couch.
What do you want him to have, Dan? Tell him what you want right now.
What food truck should we have there?
Just throw your
The
own
s'more
event
truck.
You should
and
be
invite
playing.
the firemen.
You should be playing the cartoons where they all jump out of the fire of the building. No, well, thank you for coming out and talking to us and
Yeah, you bet.
sitting in here with this cold and listen to our dumb questions. But it was
Yeah,
very
right.
informative. I'll be there. I think I'm gonna take the kids there. I think that
come
sounds
on over.
awesome because
Yeah.
I don't think does Clinton City do that?
You're not going, Dan.
Stop.
You will not
We're
go.
going to the fights and we're going
This
to
is
the
one
fire.
thing. I
thing.
actually am going. I'll be
Yeah,
there.
I'll be there.
Come
That
find
sounds
me.
I
awesome.
know
me.
I'll be there. I will.
Yeah.
But thank you, Jay, for coming out.
VIP tours for you guys. We'll get
Yeah.
get Chief Wade to give you like the.
Can we put on the
Maybe you can ride in a
jumpsuit?
fire truck with Chief Wade, maybe in the gear.
Yeah, the gear. That's what I want to do.
What?
Can you talk?
John's got
Can
connections
you
with
talk
Chief-
through the microphone?
Oh, maybe
the
we can get you on the
truck?
PA.
Oh, on the-
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just bring my own megaphone?
All right, so October 7th at the which one though? Not the
Uh,
Weber, but the other one.
Fire Station 21 there on 2550, right there by the Aquatic Center, the
Yeah.
North Shore.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Let's see. Are we gonna go to break? You want to go to break, and then we'll come back.
We
and
gotta
do
go
some
to
polls?
break.
Just
Yeah, right. We'll
fucking
break
go.
and
We
come
don't even
back.
talk
Okay.
about it.
We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back. So now we're back to the polls. The polls on Facebook. We had, what does the Ogden Police Department need to do to build trust with the public? 4 people voted more time in the community. 3 people voted soft skills training. I was one of those that voted
Just
that.
lie. 30 people voted. 40 and 30.
Oh, I
We
should have.
don't
I
lie.
should. Yeah, the percentages should have been. I should have gone with the percentages.
You're the liar on the show.
Yeah, I do. I'll lie.
What did you think about that? I mean, I was. Kevin Tila had like a long segment on there. Like he loves his Brigham City police officers and how they do more stuff
Oh, I didn't see that
in
one.
the community. Yeah. No. I thought it was a good poll. Good stuff. Thank you for voting. Look for this week's poll. It'll probably be something related
Like-
to firefighter.
How about how cheap North Ogden is in paying their firefighters?
Yeah, I,
Well, you
I
can't-
want to
Okay.
know. Would you support?
Jay's like, I don't want to be a part of this.
No,
I know,
no.
it's like,
We've
quit.
done wage studies. We're equal to our peers, so
No.
it's a
Here's
it's
what
an
I wanna know.
industry-wide
North
thing.
Ogden is just average in paying their fire. They are
North-
not any better.
Would you pay?
But we've got better equipment.
Would you pay $20 more a year on your property taxes to give your fire district a raise?
Not even a raise.
That's what I want to know.
We need to know the amount.
Yes.
What would $20 do?
No.
Well, if
A
we're
raise.
talking a
We'll
fire
just leave it
district
as
of 60 people, it would be substantial.
we'll leave it at a raise because that's a good poll question. I like that.
I mean, that's what I mean. Nobody knows what the
You get-
raise is, but if
When you have Chief Wade in here as a guest, then you can do like a dollars and cents
Yeah.
kind of thing. That'd be a good one for him.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. And then Kobe wrote in here, shout out to Angel Castillo for noting that we need a police chief who recognizes that the phrase, quote unquote, all lives matter is problematic as hell. That was from Angel Castillo.
Yep.
That should have been our pinkies up.
We haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
Hold
there
on.
we go. Here we go. And that's a good segue into pinkies up, thumbs down.
But I've got a pinkies up.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. This week, we got an intern.
We got an intern.
And her name's Sharon. Pinkies up to Sharon. She went down to the Ogden City Council meeting this week, took notes for us,
Nice.
made an outline.
What?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. So we're going to...
We should bring her on the show.
We might. And I think she's going to record it, and it'll be released on our feed. So you can hear Ogden City Council in 4 minutes or something.
Oh, nice. Just like edited?
Yeah.
Or just like her talking. Just like her.
Yeah, just her reading an outline of it, basically.
That's a good
describing
Pinkies Up.
it. Yep. So pinkies up to Sharon. Was that all I was going to say? Oh, and we're going to start releasing those outlines of city council meetings and county commission meetings pretty soon.
So pinkies up to us
Yeah, pinkies up to us.
for being great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Coverage is awesome.
You guys like information? You're welcome.
You're welcome. Let's talk. I don't have any. Shane, you didn't have any.
I thought you just said you... Never mind.
you said you had one.
Pinkies up to Angel.
Yeah, well, that was our. Yes. Rewind.
Pinkies up to this.
That was my
segment.
pinkies up. There you go. Pinkies up to this dying segment that Kobe called it last week. It's like just dragging
That's
it
another
along.
poll. Should we just kill Pinkies
Oh,
up?
that's a good one. Yes.
Yeah.
Pinkies up. Should we kill that segment? That's a good one.
Yeah.
I want Kevin's opinion on that. Just kidding. I don't really care what Kevin
don't?
says.
Kobe loves that segment. He loves it. I think he rehearses that shit. Like he's
does,
good.
in front of the mirror, right?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
babe, what did you think?
Yeah.
Oh, Maddie. All right. Upcoming events. Friday, October 4th, North Ogden mayoral debate, Northview Senior Center. This is 485 East, 2550 North in North Ogden. It's going from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So this is not for Ogden City. This won't be for Angel. This is for who are your mayoral candidates, John?
Lynn Satterthwaite and...
Neil Berube.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say he followed. Come on, John.
I
He
know.
follows the show.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, me
This is
too.
awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be good. What are we gonna live stream that? Friday, October 4th. That's this weekend, huh? That's this. Ooh.
Friday.
Friday, October 4th. Yeah, that's this week. Whoa. Oh my gosh.
At
We'll
Senior
probably
Center.
we'll get. Yeah, that'll
That's
be
a
fun.
Hoppin Senior Center.
Is
Is
it?
it?
It's the best in the
Do they
valley.
do like taekwondo?
No.
My mom
Bingo.
worked at a nursing home for like
Mashed
30
potatoes.
years. There's sex like crazy going on.
Oh my god.
There's STDs flying everywhere. They seriously do.
This one's just a day use.
Oh.
It's just
Is that,
No overnight. to
there's
this place.
I guarantee-
it's not a care center. This is just a they vote
Like an
we
activity
vote
center.
there. It's a big hall. That's where the fire department we have our Christmas party there. What the heck are you insinuating?
no, I guarantee.
It's like
There's,
speed dating.
I don't care what you guys say.
For full disclosure,
There's tons of sex going on in the senior center.
Oh,
Is it the North Ogden Senior Center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Northview, I think.
Northview. Sorry, Northview Senior Center.
Get a view from the south too, I bet.
Wow. All right. Make sure you're there. Bring some penicillin, I guess. Saturday, October 5th, Dems Coffee. Grounds for Coffee on 30th. This is going to be going on from 9:30 in the morning to 10:30 in the morning on a Saturday. Man, I tell you what, we struggle with some things. A Dems Coffee on 9:30 on a Saturday? I don't know that I'm up that early.
What the?
I'm sorry.
We're just hanging out.
Okay,
No
cool.
pressure.
That'll be
Dan,
fun.
Come in your pajamas, Dan.
Whatever. It's
Yeah, you don't got to impress.
I mean, most people are up at like 6:30 on Saturday drinking the coffee.
I
Dan,
definitely wake up at 6:30, but whatever, dude.
On a Saturday?
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
dude, you don't have young. You don't remember what it's
No, there's no more Saturday morning cartoons. I don't need to be up that early.
I just get up.
I'm an adult.
Dude, there are Saturday morning cartoons.
It's the only time I get to myself all is Saturday morning.
You don't even know about Girls
Before the
Rule
honeydew
Sunday
start.
on
Yeah.
Nick Jr., man.
Nick Jr. It'd be weird if I did though. Also Saturday, October 5th, Ogden Hispanic Festival, Lupec. This is going from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. I would make that. 2955 Harrison Boulevard in Ogden. Come out and show some. This is like Hispanic month too, right? And it's from September 15th all the way to October 15th. So this would be a good time. Yeah, it's weird. We get
Why
like
don't we give 'em a
kind of
month
get
instead
2
of-
months, but like it's a weird half in between.
That's really weird.
It is really weird. I agree.
don't like it. Now I'm not
Well,
supporting that month.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Saturday, October 12th, Meet Your Muslim Neighbor Open House, Islamic Center of Kuwait in Utah.
What?
This will be...
We've got one of those?
Yeah. This is 5864 Harrison Boulevard in South Ogden.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, again, Saturday, October 12th, Meet Your Muslim Neighbor Open House
At
from
the
11
Islamic
a.m. to
Center.
1:30 p.m. Yeah, it's
that's,
Islamic Center of
Shinoda's
Kuwait.
been promoting that.
Where's that located? The Islamic Center. Just
5864 Harrison Boulevard, South Ogden.
It's in South Ogden.
I'm trying to place
Yeah.
the
It's
building.
got to
Just-
be by Javier's.
You're gonna freak all the people out in South Ogden that there's an Islamic Center there now.
No, this will be good. You go meet
No,
your
it is
neighbors.
great. It is great, but
You're gonna freak. Shut up, Shane.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The one.
It's like, do they try to keep that address secret?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys are the worst.
Are we the worst? No, it's fine for me, but fuck, half the guys on my Facebook are gonna be like, shit, do we have one of those here?
Oh god, Shane. Yeah. Come out and meet your Muslim neighbor. That'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Yep.
You can like us on Facebook. Make sure you get to the website. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, any news stories, or anybody that you'd like us to meet, special guests,
Yeah.
or good ideas for the show, you can email us at junctioncitypodcast@gmail.com. Again, like I said, like us on Facebook, join the group, get involved. We love hearing for you. Comment, vote on the polls. You can like us, or you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Go on to YouTube. We're going to be putting a lot of content there. Sorry, I thought I put the other episode up. I guess I didn't put on the episode. So we'll have 2 episodes this week on YouTube, apparently.
And a teaser. I cut down our episode with Ian Houghton about education. You two actually missed it.
Yeah.
But I cut it down. We've got like this condensed 30-minute conversation on education. We got to put it on YouTube.
Nice. Good. Send me the file.
Yep.
We'll put show notes up at junctioncitypodcast.com, and that's where we'll be putting up also the
Donate button.
the donate button and the information from the city councils from our intern as well.
Right.
You can rate
Damn.
us, right?
You can rate us. Can I do a pinkies up?
Oh my God.
Put a
This
thumbs
guy.
down. No, so I tune into the city council meeting, right, in Ogden, and these ladies get up and they do this breast cancer, awareness thing in front of the city council members. And Ogden City made it so October is like Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, is there any other shit that we should have done 25 years ago in Ogden that we need to do? I mean, I'm like, we wasted like 10 minutes. I mean, in this meeting, I'm like, no fucking shit. Like, we haven't done this yet. Like, it's just not everywhere yet. Like, Ogden City's like, no, we're just going to wait until a couple of people come and put it in front of the council before we even do anything for breast cancer. I mean, you don't think that's weird? That they're actually like talking about it and like, oh, yes, let's join in on the party 25 years later.
25 years after.
You
So
know-
that's a thumbs down?
It's
or
a
is that
thumbs down.
Okay.
I mean, I just want one citizen to like go through and see all the shit that we missed and just like, let's just do it in one city council meeting, just get caught up.
So like civil rights stuff.
Yeah,
you-
like there might be some stuff we missed in Ogden.
Have the intern go check all the old minutes from
Yeah,
everything. This would
yeah.
be thorough.
I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
How
I don't
are we not
wanna-
doing this
I don't want
yet?
to lighten it. I got like 5 aunts. My mom's a breast cancer survivor. I'm like, we're just doing this now. Like we haven't had a walk or anything in Ogden. We don't do that. I mean, I swear.
I think they do that stuff.
Oh
here.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, like we're all like, fuck.
They've got to do it because the NFL's all wearing pink, in October.
Yeah,
So I'm sure
exactly.
there's some.
I'm just saying it should have
5Ks
already
and
been a
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, you can rate us.
Yeah, thanks.
No,
for coming
no, you
back to
can't.
that.
You can rate us if you rate us like a 1 because Dan swears a lot. I mean, because it offends you. I mean, things that should offend you are like taking health insurance from poor people.
Companies that don't pay a living wage.
Yeah, I mean,
Kids that don't get
having
food
the
at night.
having the richest companies in the world not pay any taxes. That should offend you. But Dan saying the F word should not offend you. So, I mean, if you are that way, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And like we say every week,
All politics is local.
yeah.